General thoughts on how you're feeling about this getting going and this season?
We like our team. We're excited for the season. We love some of the changes that we made, and the two new coaches have brought a good, fresh level of energy, and we like how we're constructed. We're deep, we're balanced, we're big, we're fast. So we're excited to put it together and put it on display Friday night.
Greg, that doesn't get talked about a lot, but when you bring in a couple new assistants, how do you develop that sort of chemistry as a coaching staff?
Well, you do it as time goes on. It doesn't happen overnight, but I think we've done a really good job of it. I think most importantly, as a head coach, you got to let them do their job. You have to let them coach and find their way, and really, let the players get comfortable with them and their messaging and the way they communicate. I've stepped back, and I used to run pretty much 100% of our practices. I probably ran 75%. Today, I had all three run a practice combined, and I just kind of watched. And it's a luxury as a head coach that when you're running practice all the time, it's hard to really look at detail. It's hard to look at habits. It's hard to look at what guys are doing because you're so concerned with the pace of play and running drills and the spacing in drills. It's an art running a practice, so you can't always catch everything when you're running it. Now I have three really good coaches that I trust to run a practice or a combined practice, and it's been really good for me that way.
How about in terms of meshing philosophies?
We all have the same philosophy for the most part. That's why they are hired. We've changed a little bit how we're going to play this year. We're going to play differently in neutral ice. We're going to play a little bit differently in our defensive zone. But really outside of that, we're going to play the same way. And at the end of the day, it's just out competing and out willing. And we have a team that's much more constructed to get in on the forecheck and be physical and be hard and be heavy and get back to that identity.
You have a unique opportunity to play Arizona this Friday, which doesn't happen all that often anymore. What's the preparation like for a team like Arizona?
We're worried. I think for this game, it's just worrying about ourselves. We're not even really going to show film. They've had 3 games, and again, I think it's going to be a great experience for them, for their guys to come up and get a Division I experience playing our team. And last thing I said to the guys is don't take them lightly because you just never know. You never know, and you know damn well they're going to come up and give their very best effort. It's their Stanley Cup. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for all those kids to get a Division I experience. And I've been on the other side of it. We took our ACHA team to Penn State when they were Division I and we beat them. So it can happen, and we've done it. So we're going to be ready to play, and we're treating it like any other game. And I said it the last time we played Arizona in our hybrid year. We don't care if they're a club team. We don't care if they're a varsity team. We don't care if they're, I think I said, the Little Sisters of the Poor. They got a block A on their jersey, and we're going to go after them.
Have you guys specifically talked about the rivalry? And when Sun Devil fans, they often consider a season successful just if they beat Arizona.
Yeah.
Have you guys talked specifically about the rivalry?
Yeah, our guys have to watch every year. At the start of the year, we do the athletic department puts together an entire kind of convocation for all the student athletes, and every team gets a Kachina doll for beating Arizona. And our guys have to watch it every year. We don't get that opportunity. So this is the opportunity, and we better damn well get a Kachina doll if we win.
How did the game come about?
I know Chad well, and the ACHA, NCAA changed the rule. I actually put in for legislation to get it changed to allow NCAA teams to use ACHA as their exhibition. In my opinion, it makes way more sense to exhibition ACHA teams to grow the game of college hockey in our country rather than play a Canadian school, because there was an international exemption prior. And the ACHA wasn't a part of that exemption. It should be, it now is. I've always said, without that game for us at Penn State, without that win at Penn State, we're not here today. This doesn't exist. It put our team and our program on the map. It wasn't the national championship. It was that game, and it was that opportunity that raised a lot of eyebrows going, hey, what's going on? Like, this is working. A club team from Arizona State just beat a Division I team. And now you see Denver the last 2 years. They exhibitioned at UNLV last year, Lindenwood the year before. Liberty beat Long Island 2 years ago. This year, Minot State, who's very good, is going to play Colorado College and Denver. So more NCAA teams are giving these ACHA programs opportunities to not only experience, Division I atmosphere and game experience. U of A is coming up tomorrow, Thursday. We're going to treat them like a Division I team. They're going to get a great experience. And who knows? Maybe some multi-billionaire donor from U of A sees the game and says, you know what, we're going to level the playing field. We're going to put U of A in Division I hockey. They have a facility going in, and there's nobody that would be happier to see the University of Arizona step up to the plate and add Division I hockey than me.
And Coach, you joined a conference in the NCHC. What was that process like? And then if you can get Arizona another ally in that conference, a team to play.
Yeah, I mean, it was for us. I can't speak to. I don't think U of A is anywhere close, right, to making that jump. But again, you never know. I mean, at the start of the season where we made the jump, it wasn't even discussed. So it can happen. It can happen overnight if the right people support it, and the administration obviously supports it. But as far as us and joining the conference, it's changed everything. It's changed the level of recruiting. It's changed the access to kids we've never had access to. A lot of that has to do with hiring, the best recruiter in college hockey in Albie and one of the best upcoming recruiters in Dana. So those two guys are doing an unbelievable job. But without the league, we don't have access to the kids that are visiting and committing. And without the league, we probably don't have either one of those two coaches.
When you say you don't have access, do you mean they're not really looking at Arizona State?
Well, yeah, I mean, kids want to play for a championship. So kids like the independent, it's the first chapter of our program. It's ran its course though. Like we're ready for the next chapter. We've done all we can do as an independent. We've made, essentially 2 NCAA tournaments as an independent in 7 full seasons. The last team before us as an independent to make the tournament was 30 years prior. So it's hard. It's hard to do. And when you get into January and February and your pairwise isn't in a place where you know you're going to get into the NCAA tournament or you can't compete to get in, human nature just allows for kids to kind of check out. It's hard to keep them motivated. So, for us this year, yes, we're still independent, but we're celebrating this as kind of the closing the first chapter in Sun Devil hockey and wearing it as a badge of honor. And we want to finish our independent era going to the NCAA tournament because we've done it and we can do it again.
Coach, at the end of last season, you continuously hammered home that you wanted to get bigger, you wanted to get more physical and play that type of hockey. Going into this offseason transfer portal, getting new players in, is that a successful goal of you?
Yeah, you'll see with just a few players, like Brian Chambers, big, strong, two-way center, protects pucks. He's got a big ass that just, we didn't have last year, right? Like he's just a great player. And Tyler Gratton, obviously a big power forward from Penn State, who's now our captain. Kate Alami, 6'7", he's 6'10" on skates. So yes, we got bigger, we got harder, we got a lot tougher.
Coach, you were pretty high on this incoming freshman class. Are there any in particular that have kind of stuck out to you?
They've all done a really good job. I think 3 kids they've all done a good job, but 3 that stick out in my head, just off the top of my head, would be Kyle Smolin, who I knew was going to be productive right away. He played 4 years in the USHL, and he's seasoned, he's ready. He's not really a freshman because you play that long in that league. He was a captain at Fargo. He led them to the Anderson Cup last year in the regular season, and he was almost a 50-point guy. He's a really good player. He's ready for really any role. He can play up and down a lineup. So he's going to get a great opportunity Friday. Anthony Dowd's been tremendous. I mean, he led Chicago in points for D-men last year, and he's as skilled as it gets. He will not play Friday. It's more precautionary than anything, but I expect that he'll be fine for the start of our regular season. And Matthew Romer, we didn't really know what to expect. He has been committed to us for a long time. He was a captain in Omaha last year in the USHL. He too played 3 years in the USHL. He's seasoned, he's polished, but a lot of his last 2 years, he was in and out because of injury. He's healthier than he's been in probably 3 years, and he's been very, very good.
Last season, the fans really embraced this team. What are you looking for from the fans this season, and how do they motivate this team?
I mean, it's a privilege to walk through that tunnel and onto this ice, and a lot of the guys with us still played at Oceanside, and a handful of them did. So they understand how lucky we are to have this. And last year, one of the messages that the guys have heard from me this week is we had a team last year for the first time that I probably have ever had that played to the level of its competition. If you play Minnesota, you play North Dakota, you get wins. You play Boston College, you get a win. You play other teams and you get swept. That you just in the past we would never do that. We have to play our way. We have to play to our expectations and stick to our process. When you put on our jersey, there's a level of expectation that we expect out of our players, and that starts Friday. It doesn't matter if it's Arizona, it doesn't matter if it's Merrimack, it doesn't matter if it's Northern Michigan. We have to play a certain way, and that's going to be the expectation that we demand out of our players on Friday.
Coach, you bring in Tyler, bring him in. Now he's the captain. Kind of, what does that speak to his personality and how big a leader?
I think it says a lot about his character, his ability to gain control of a room. To do that as a new player in college is really impressive. I left it to a player vote this year, and it was unanimous. Like he was the only player that got a vote from every single person, whether staff or players. So he's a leader among men, in every way.
So soon?
Yeah, if you would have told me when I recruited him that was going to happen, I would have said no way. But he's just that impressive of a kid, and he wore a letter at Penn State. They were an overtime away from a Frozen Four last year. He was a big piece of that, and a big piece of their identity. And he wanted a change of scenery for a year, and he could have gone a lot of places. And you'll see, like his numbers may not jump off the stat sheet to you, but when you see him play, you're like, whoa, like he brings an element that we simply just did not have last year. He's big, he's fast, he's hard, he competes, he plays 200 feet. He's not fun to play against. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for a handful of those guys, and we went out and got them.
Your top line as well, Doe and Mastro both gone. I mean, two big holes you're looking to fill. Any ideas who you want to put on that top line?
Well, I mean, they're big losses. They're great players. Josh is showing how great he is. Did I expect Josh to do what he did in preseason? I don't think anybody did, except for probably Josh. But we're happy and proud of him, and Mastro will find his way up in Toronto. But two big holes. But people forget we got a kid in Matthew Copperud when he was healthy, scored 22 goals. Mastro and Doan never scored 22 goals. We got a kid in Alex Young last year who scored 21 goals. Mastro and Doan never scored 21 goals. So we got plenty of skill, plenty of guys that can put the puck in the net, and we're not worried about that.
Coach, speaking of that skill, the Jackson brothers were a big part of this team last year, and I think they're slated to take on a bigger role
Oh, yeah.
this year. What kind of strides have you seen them make?
Bigger, stronger, more mature, more comfortable with what we expect out of our players. They came in last year, were a little bit gun shy and took a while to get going, and they would admit that. But they are really good hockey players, and they both got so much stronger over the offseason. They're big pieces. I'm really excited about those two. Really excited about Ryan Alexander. As a freshman, he had 12 goals last year. That's pretty impressive. And the kid that's going to really impress a lot of people is Charlie Shane. He's a hell of a player, and he only got to show what he could do for 9 games last year. And when we lost him, it was a huge loss. So he's healthy, Cop's healthy. Knock on wood, but we like our team.
Coach, you just brought up Ryan Alexander. Kind of really came on at the Minnesota series. How has he looked so far this year?
Great, strong, big. Had an off season. Kind of like minor surgery to fix something, and it's fixed, and he's stronger and has more pop than he's ever had. He's just a great player. Plays hard. He's got speed. Does everything the right way.
TJ obviously played in 36 games in that last year. There were some concerns there. Now you're thinking maybe Gibson Homer plays a little bit to kind of take that, keep him fresh. Do you have any idea what that split's going to look like?
Yeah. Do I know what it's going to look like? No. Will Gibby get starts? Yes. We rode TJ too hard last year. A lot of that was just to push him. We knew that the season wasn't going to go the way we wanted at a certain point, and he needed to know what he needed to do in the offseason to not feel that way again. And I think we can manage his workload a lot more effectively, and we will. Gibby's a great goalie. He was a national development team kid. Which obviously USA Hockey thought he was one of the top 2 goalies in his birth year in the country. So Gibby's a hell of a goalie. So Gibby's going to get his opportunity, and he's going to push him.
Coach, a power play was something that was up and down throughout last year. Has that been a focal point in practice here so far?
I think we finished at like 20.4, which is pretty good. It's not bad. Today it looked really good. Our top unit looked very good. We have on both flanks 2 20-plus goal scorers, and Timmy Level up top. And then we didn't really have anybody. The best net front guy we've ever had was Jack Becker. the transfer from Michigan, and now we have a kid who really embraces that net front in Brian Chambers. And then Lucas Sillinger, who 2 years ago was a 38-point guy in Bemidji. So we have the skill. We got more skill than people think, losing two really good players. But what we have the skill. I'm not worried about that at all. What I'm most excited about is the grit that we've added, the FU that we've added. That we need to play with and will play with. Like it's going to be at Mullet. We want the mentality where you come in here like we're dropping a steel cage over the ice, and you better be ready. That's the way we're going to play.
Last question.
And speaking to that, I mean, you built your schedule with a lot of home games. Is that intentional so that you can play here? And you can
No, the home games are just a result of us having to travel more than anybody in the history of college hockey over the course of 7 years. So it's everybody that owes us a game back that wanted to wait until we got Mullet. It's just a fitting way to end our independent era. And so again, messaging to our guys is the guys before you gave you this opportunity to play an entire home season in front of 5,000 of your fans. Like, it was not easy what we did to build this program out of Oceanside, getting 10 to 12 home games a year. Now it's time to enjoy the fruits of those guys' labor and respect what they did before them.
Obviously, you guys have bigger goals than just beating Arizona this Friday. But what's the importance of starting the season strong?
I think like there's a lot of things that go about it. Is like mainly getting some confidence going into the year. I know it's it's an exhibition game, but like we're still going to take it just as seriously as any other game. It doesn't matter who we're playing. Like when we're putting our jersey on, and we're going to play how we want to play.
When it comes to taking it seriously, I know the fans are going to take this game perhaps more seriously than any other game, even though it's just an exhibition game. What's the message in the locker room? What are you guys talking about when it comes to the rivalry with Arizona?
I mean, the rivalry is a big part of it, but like I said, it doesn't matter who we're playing. Like, we're going to play our style of hockey night in and night out, and that's how we're going to beat people. So I think that's probably the most important thing, is just consistency up and down the lineup every game.
You spent some time at Penn State, now coming here. What was the process in deciding to leave Penn State and then coming to Arizona?
It was just time for kind of like a new chapter, flip the page, explore other opportunities. So.
And then being named captain, I mean, how big does that say your leadership is coming into a new team and then getting unanimous vote from all the players, now you're the captain of the team?
Yeah, it's definitely an honor. I mean, the fact that all the guys in the locker room trusted me enough and I was able to earn their respect quick enough definitely says something. But, I mean, the opportunity for me to do that, it's not just like a one and done thing. I still need to check all the boxes throughout the entire season and continue to be a leader for them.
Do you expect all the guys in the locker room to rally around you this quickly, or?
No, I would not say so. I mean, I knew naturally I'm a little bit more of a leader, but I did not expect that whatsoever.
When you were making your decision to come to Arizona State, what were some of the things you heard about this program or basically was the tipping point?
I mean, I knew Copperwood before coming here, so I was talking to him a little bit, and then I mean, once I got on the phone with Greg, he had nothing but good things to say. They also just got this beautiful rink. The academics were good here, so I was able to figure out a graduate program as well. Yeah, it's been awesome ever since I came here. The guys are amazing, and we're taking steps in the right direction.
What's your graduate program?
It's a master's in leadership and business management.
How's it been?
It's been good so far. Manageable. So it's finals week right now, but yeah.
How do you feel about the group?
I think we're going to be good this year. I think we have the chance to do something special. I mean, we have a larger team. We have a lot of old guys, and we also have a large freshman class. So I think it'll be very important with how old our team is to show the younger guys how things are done. But at the same time, we're going to make a statement.
Yeah, awesome.
So what are it's kind of your first couple, I guess, month or so in Arizona. What's been your impressions? A lot different than Pennsylvania, huh?
Yeah, very different. I mean, waking up every day, it's sunny outside, it's warm, it's crazy. I was talking to my parents the other day on the phone, and it was 50 and rainy there. I was like, it hasn't rained here in a little bit, so.
Yeah. You wore a letter at Penn State. You were there for 4 years?
4 years, yeah.
what did you learn about that? And especially last year, I mean, you were one overtime away from the Frozen Four. I mean, what did that experience kind of do?
Yeah, it's like it's really just like how important the small things are. Like you got to make sure like all your details are checked every single time you step out in the ice, off the ice. Like stuff off the ice carries over to on the ice, so you want to make sure you're always doing the best, just to like represent yourself and the team the best that you to your abilities.
For sure. And when a team unanimously votes you for captain, I mean, especially as a newcomer, like that's not a small feat. That obviously says something. I mean, what does it mean to you to transfer here and then, you know, almost immediately gain the respect of an entire locker room?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely awesome to be able to get their trust and respect that quick off the bat. I think a big part of it was being able to get out here early during the summer and try and meet with them and work with them and like get to know them a lot better and incorporate myself into the team from like an early standpoint. And it's a great honor and opportunity for me to be able to lead these guys this year.
And something that, you know, the mantra of this team is hard and heavy, you know, tough to
Yeah.
play against. You have skill, but you also have guys who, you know, can play the body or can play gritty.
Yeah.
You know, have you seen a lot of the newcomers kind of embody that mindset?
Yeah, for sure. I think when Greg was recruiting me to come here over the summer, he said that was like one aspect that their team's been missing for a little bit, and he wanted to change to get back to it. And I think that's going to be very important for us to be a hard, heavy team that's a fast-paced, puck-moving, and speed up the ice. And I think that's where we're going to like really create our difference and gaps between other teams and be able to take advantage of them.
And being an independent team, you know, in terms of tournament hopes, kind of puts you at a little bit of an automatic disadvantage.
Yeah.
Is that something that, you know, is kind of known or like that you talk about around the locker room, or you just not care? You just go out and try to-
I think it's known just because it makes all the games that much more important. And that's why a big thing focusing on being consistent, no matter who we're playing. It doesn't matter. When we put our jersey on and we step out in the ice, like we're going to play Sun Devil hockey.
Walking into a program and being voted unanimously as the captain, like right on the bat, like, wow, that's a surprise to me. But
Yeah, it was a little crazy for me to hear too. Not gonna lie. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't expected.
A little bit. Yeah, no.
What was your approach when you came in? Obviously, you won over the entire team quickly.
Yeah. I mean, like I thought I might get a letter, might not. I mean, regardless, it wasn't going to change my output. Still kind of an older guy. Was going to be a leader on the team, I thought, and I
And
thought
you were
like,
in your previous stop, obviously.
yeah,
so.
yeah, and I thought like there's things that I could definitely show the younger guys just how things are done and whatnot. But like when I found out that I was going to be the captain, it was definitely a little bit of a surprise. But I mean, the fact that the guys trusted me and I was able to earn their respect quick enough, I think says a lot.
What's your approach as a captain?
I mean, only be vocal when you have to and lead by example. You got to come, show up, work day in and day out, and just like show the guys what needs to happen. I feel like it.
Greg has talked a lot about getting back to their older identity. When this program started out, they had more of an edge. They played with more of an edge. They were maybe, as he said, maybe a little too focused on skill the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had conversations about that, how you embrace that.
Yeah, no, I mean, when he was recruiting me, he said that they needed to get back to a harder, heavier game. That was like one of the reasons why he was really attracted to bringing me in. Being an older guy, more physical, I think that kind of fits my game really well as a power forward that's able to make plays up and down the ice. And I think we're going to have a good team this year that's really going to embrace that hard, heavy game that we need to in order to make a good run.
Do you have a sense of your line mates, your role on special teams, all that?
I mean, like it's really early on right now. We're still trying to figure stuff out. Yeah, there's like some lines put together for the week, but it's nothing set in stone yet. So
So of course you spend a lot of years at Penn State.
yeah.
I think experience through the transfer portal is so important. And now you have to work with some experience, but a lot of younger kids at ASU as well. How has it been taking them under your wing?
It's been good. I mean, it's been really easy. The team's like good. The freshman class has been really good. I mean, having an older team too this year, like with 9 freshmen on the team, they're able to look up to a lot of guys to like kind of show them how it's done, how hard they need to work day in and day out, off the ice, on the ice, in the gym, like just behave around the rink and stuff.
I think it was it doesn't happen a lot when a player comes out of the transfer portal, they go to a new team and then they're named captain by their teammates.
Yeah.
What does it say about you? Like that must be a huge honor for you personally.
Yeah, it definitely was an honor. The fact that they all trusted me enough and respected me enough to put the C on me is like, it says a lot.
How has it been? I always ask transfer portal kids coming out of the portal, going to a new team, a new place too. Have you ever been to Arizona before this?
I have not, no.
So new experience.
Yeah.
How's the weather?
It's been unbelievable.
Okay, so
Yeah, I
you're a
can't
fan of the
complain.
weather.
Yeah.
Coming from State College.
Yeah, no, so I'm like a PA boy, so like I had the same weather for the past like 5 years, whether I was at home or at school. Like I'm used to the 4 seasons, and then to come here and have it sunny every single day, doesn't rain for more than 15 minutes. Like it's kind of nice. Like it's awesome.
Philly side or Pitt side?
Philly side.
Okay, Philly fan.
Give or take.
Kind of.
Like I'll root for them if they're playing, but like I'd much rather like if I'm watching hockey, I just like watching hockey.
Have you been to the Whiteout?
Football game?
Yeah.
Yes.
How was that?
That's unbelievable. Yeah.
Really
They're
big fan.
really like. Whether you're a fan or not of whoever's playing, it's probably one of the coolest atmospheres in athletics.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You get to meet a lot of new kids coming up this year. Did you know anyone on the team before you got there?
Yeah. So actually, me and Kopp got to know each other pretty well. We were both at the Boston Bruins camp back, I think it was at the end of his freshman year, the end of my sophomore year. So I was able to talk to him a bit of like what the school was like, what the area was like, how the guys were, and stuff, which was like really nice to know. I played with O in Fargo for half a season, so I knew him. I was able to like talk to him and stuff. So yeah, it's been good. And then once I committed here, I found out that Tabby was going to be coming here too, and I played with Tabby back in U16s in North Jersey, so I knew him too. So it's been good.
What drew you? I'm sure there were so many teams coming out and communicating, we want you, we want you, we want you. Why Tempe?
I think it had to do a lot with the coaching staff and what they wanted to accomplish here. Also, just getting a new facility is amazing, and everything that the boys had to say when I was talking to them through the process was nothing but good things. And I wanted to be a part of it. I mean, I think there's a real chance here to make history for the Sun Devils, and I want to be a part of it.
Where do you see yourself fitting in on the forward side?
I would say probably like a hard-nosed power forward is going to make plays up and down the lineup. Plays on both sides of the puck, offensively and defensively. So.
And then lastly, do you have any personal goals for this season?
Make history.
Make history.
Yeah.
What is making history?
I mean, I think Sun Devils haven't made it out of the first round in the NCAA tournament yet, so I think that's a big thing. I mean, obviously, winning a national championship's the end goal for any hockey player in college. So, yeah.
Awesome. Really good to meet you. Excited to watch you play, and I wish you a successful
season. Nice to meet you too. Thank you.